What time is that?
Uh, time for time for Disney to stop making live action remakes.
You're so dead inside.
I'm very dead inside.
We would like to clarify Adam isn't feeling well at the minute.
Um,
It's not COVID related or anything like that. It's just, what would you say, Adam?
I'm severely hungover.
But anyways, we are,
Push
yes,
through.
of course.
Push
Huh?
through. Push through.
Push through. this is just, this is just so painful for you, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I did not want to do this, but I'm here.
He's here. He's here. He's a brave soldier. He's here. We didn't do one last week, and thank God, just because I watched too many live action Disney films, well, just Disney films in general, in a short span of time. But also, Cruella 2 got greenlit as well. So we'll get into that later. I think we just need to start off with the Disney live actions in general, and then touch on Cruella in a bit. But
Yeah, well, I mean, famously, a character of Cruella DeVille kind of started the whole Disney live action remake thing.
yeah,
Because that was the only thing people fucking liked about the live action ones. Who was in
well,
that?
Glenn Close.
It was Glenn Close, yeah.
Yeah.
She was the only thing people liked about those films.
Mm.
That and the cute dogs.
Yeah. Well, it's very weird because I actually have a wee soft spot for those two films.
It was
Like looking back now, they're probably awful, but she's actually she's quite enjoyable in them.
Yeah, I know people do say that she really gives it her all.
But it is like she just is a great actress. You know what I mean? But I watched. So what I did was I watched Aladdin first, and then I watched what did I watch after Milan, and then I watched Lion King, and then Cruella. And I had not seen any of those four films. I had seen obviously the originals or whatever. And I gotta start. Have you seen Aladdin, the new one?
I saw Aladdin, yeah.
And I have to say, it started off alright, right? It was.
I haven't seen it since the cinema. To be fair.
Yeah, but so it starts off alright. Will Smith just chatting, about stuff and stuff, right? Everything's normal. Then you have Arabian Nights. That's sort of usual things, a bit different than usual, and you're like, all right. And then it has what I like to call the Rise of Skywalker syndrome, where it has the worst first act I've seen since Rise of Skywalker, where the movie just starts. You know what I mean?
I mean, the original does that to an extent.
No, but at least it introduces you to these characters. This film doesn't. So basically, in the film, I don't know if you remember, Aladdin's doing, One Jump or whatever his song is,
Yeah.
right? And then you meet this woman who you have no idea who she is.
Oh, is that when they introduced Jasmine?
Yeah.
She's just
but
there, isn't she?
Yeah, she did. You don't introduce
Oh yeah, they don't.
her until late.
You don't see her escaping.
No, this is the thing. But you
Yeah.
see her in like Arabian Nights, because Arabian Nights they show you all the characters and stuff. They basically skip a lot of this shit.
And it's a longer film than the original too.
Well, this is my point. What? It's the same with The Lion King, although I have more issues with The Lion King. Aladdin and Lion King are both an hour longer than their original films, right? They remove a lot of the stuff, yet the film is basically the same, but just worse. For example,
With a girl power ballad.
listen, I was okay with that. I was a bit well, I just find it weird that Jasmine never had the song.
Yeah, but
I don't mind it. I see
my-
why they did it, because obviously it's because especially with like Frozen,
But it
where
doesn't.
that was like a big hit and stuff.
It doesn't really fit with the aesthetic of the film, though. Like at all.
How do you mean?
Like I don't know. There's kind of a feel to all the Aladdin songs. There's a bit of a they all have kind of a nice kind of groove to them.
Mm.
And this one just doesn't. It's just because they need their fucking big. Lindsay Ellis, I know, did a video detailing this. She had big issues with the fact that every one of these live action remakes is all kind of about. I guess it's about female empowerment, which it's not a bad thing.
Mm.
It's just that Disney usually don't know how to write it.
Yeah, that's the problem. I think Disney are like not the best at it. See, we both agree. We like it when it's done right, but when it's done wrong, if anything, it just hinders what you're trying to do and what you're trying to accomplish.
Also don't think Guy Ritchie, if you look at his films, he never has female characters. ever. And I think
And when
he does,
they're
he
very
can't
minor.
he can't really, he doesn't really know how to write
Yeah.
female characters.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's bad because he's a male director who wants to make quite male
Yeah.
centric, male oriented.
It's kind of like
films.
female director wants to make, female based films, as an example.
With a
Makes
lead of
sense.
females. It's fine because that's why he knows. That's why he knows how to write as well.
Yeah. Like,
And-
if a white guy makes a film about white guys, it's kind of like, well, yeah, because he knows how to write about white guys, you know what I mean?
I mean, Kevin Smith.
Well, basically, yeah, pretty
Basically
much.
Kevin Smith. Yeah, so I just don't think he really knows how to write female characters, and I think it's just an issue when you get so representation's needed in some things. I don't really care with most films that come out. I'm kind of like, I don't care. I can move because I just watched The Gentleman, another Guy Ritchie film.
Oh, have you seen it?
Yeah, I was watched there like a couple of days ago. It's good.
Yeah,
But like,
enjoy it, yeah.
I didn't think of this at the time, but I'm like I guess you don't really need representation as much in films like that, just because it doesn't matter because people aren't really going to be basing their lives on it.
Well,
And it's
films-
really important in kids' films. I think I always say, I'm like, representation's not about the 30-year-old men and women. That just
Yeah.
doesn't matter. It honestly just doesn't matter. Grow the fuck up.
Well, in a kids' film, at least, at least when it comes to a kids' film, it is oriented towards children.
Oh no, but like it's important for like the Marvel films or
Yeah.
anything that kind of, if it's kid centric, that's kind of where we need to force a lot of representation in because that's where it really matters.
A cameo appearance from an ambulance, there.
Oh yeah, I live next to a
okay,
hospital.
Are you in the hospital? Because you fucking sound like you are.
I never sound very upbeat in these podcasts. To be fair, I always hear the when the clips put on.
At the start, you do at least.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's really important in kids' films, I think, representations. I understand why they're doing it, but I just don't think they've done it well in these live action ones because there's a bit of an issue in terms of they don't really know who they're marketing to. Are these films marketed for kids or are they marketed for adults? I don't really.
Well,
And
that
this
was
becomes
my
a bigger
problem.
issue going into Cruella.
Yeah. Well, but speaking on Aladdin, this was the issue I found the most, which was when you're introduced to Aladdin and obviously the character who's obviously Jasmine,
Yeah.
but who's never introduced as that.
But we know it's Jasmine because it's the
We know it's
female
Jasmine.
character.
Well, this is my problem because who's this for? Because we've seen the film already, so we know this, so we know who that is.
Yeah.
But for someone who hasn't, like, it's so confusing. But you've also seen it earlier and stuff, and then it's like, I know it's very weird. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't know what it's trying to be in a way. And then, of course, you have stuff like Jafar getting a really shit, half-assed backstory that's never touched on or explored other than what he says to Aladdin.
Oh, also talking about representation. Why is Jafar straight now?
Why, was he gay before?
He
Oh,
wasn't-
yes, he was. He was.
He was quite gay.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I forgot. Because he was very fixated on specifically the male human body, wasn't he?
I can't remember now if that was Jafar or Scar. I know Scar was also very gay.
No, it's just Jeremy Irons. But Jeremy Irons, yeah.
Scar was quite gay.
Was he?
He was quite camp anyway. He's very
But
camp.
no, but in the second one, doesn't he have like a lover or something?
Oh yeah, but like he had a kid at some point.
Yeah, I don't remember. But anyways, Aladdin, it's I don't know. It's all right.
Talk about representation
problem-
and they take out gay Jafar.
It's so true. Well, my problem is Jafar's just not. He doesn't do anything in the film.
No, it's not really relevant.
No, he's just kind of there. I do like. I don't know, like the fucking parrot. At least it doesn't talk. I'm fine with
You
that.
didn't want Gilbert Gottfried back.
No, I didn't want Gilbert Gottfried. I was worried when I didn't even know the parrot was going to be in it. And I saw the parrot, and then I got slightly worried.
You don't
I was
like
like, oh,
Gilbert
no.
Gottfried?
Well, it just wouldn't work in a live action. Well, we'll get into this later in Lion
Film?
King, but I have a big issue when you have photorealistic animals that speak. I have a big problem with it, so I do. But no, right, Will Smith, fine.
Oh yeah, people.
I'm
it's-
happy he just did his own thing.
Well, yeah.
rather than trying.
They didn't do any forced improv. They didn't force him to do any
No.
improv or
He
anything.
just did just. If you're going on this and you like Will Smith, you'll like him in this. You know what I mean? That kind of a thing.
He's
like,
just Will Smith.
yeah, that's basically what it was. They just got him to do Genie because they're like, right, he's likable. They'll do it, right? Fine with that, because I don't think you'd ever kind of want to try and top peak Robin Williams. You know what I mean?
Well, there's a whole big thing where there was an Aladdin 4 that they were talking about at one point. Because after Robin Williams' death, because they were just like, they apparently
like 16 hours.
There was
of
hours
stuff.
and hours of just Robin Williams just kind of what's it called? I said a couple like a minute ago.
By the way,
improving.
You sound punch drunk.
Oh,
You sound because like the words were like you were trying to say stuff and they weren't really coming out a second.
I'm not holding together too well.
He's not well. But we'll power through. Come on, Adam. What were you saying? What was your point?
They didn't really force him to do much improv. To be fair, it was kind of just Will Smith, so it worked.
Yeah, he just kind of did his own kind of usual kind of stuff.
Yeah, Return of Jafar should be good.
Yeah. Well, apparently they're not actually doing Return of Jafar. That's going to be like an original thing.
I don't see the fun in that. I want Return of Jafar.
Well, this is my thing. It's just going to be Return of Jafar because,
Well,
spoiler alert for the film, the genie isn't the genie by the end.
Oh, yeah, he wasn't. Well, they did ignore that fact in Return of Jafar, if I remember.
No, but like, you know how in this one he actually just transforms into a human?
Yeah, well, that's a big theory. That's a big theory with the original one. Solely the first Aladdin is that the merchant at the beginning is the genie.
Yeah.
Because famously Robin Williams, and he's dressed kind of similarly, and he knows the whole story, and he has the lamp.
Yeah. Well, like that's what I kind of think is interesting with this iteration, where it's just like, oh no, the genies are literally just humans that want to be genies. And got tricked into it, if you know what I mean. I kind of like that. I don't mind that kind of part, because then it kind of has this kind of... But then I'm kind of worried now, where I'm just like... Because Will Smith will definitely probably come back, obviously.
Yeah.
For the sequel.
Definitely not topless with what he's been posting lately.
No. I have to say, though, I'm not a fan of...
The design?
The design. I am happy the fact that he's just not always like that. I think that was a smart move. Where he's like usually in disguise.
That worked.
Yeah. But yeah, that's Aladdin put to bed. We'll move on from that, right? You've seen the original Mulan, right?
Oh, the original Mulan, yeah, of course.
Yeah, right. Fan.
One of the better ones, but fair with Mulan, like it peaks with one song, like good film.
Yeah,
but it also its best bit is fucking the make a man out of you montage. Like, and it just then, peaks there.
With the live action one, they controversially have changed the entire thing, where the villain is different. There's no songs.
Yeah. There's no mysticism.
The dragon isn't in it. None of those kind of animal characters are in it, right?
Yeah.
And I was worried, so I started watching it. I was like, and of course, because I was watching Aladdin, I was just taking the piss out of it the whole time, right? Because I was just like, oh, fuck it, it's a Disney film.
Yeah.
Started taking the piss out of Mulan, and then all of a sudden I was like, oh, wait, no, this is actually getting interesting. And I started to actually start liking it.
I'll have to watch it.
Because it was, weirdly enough, it was going to be the only ones I was willing to watch in the cinema when it was originally going to come out. Just because I liked the idea that it was it was going to be more true to the original story of Mulan rather than the film Mulan.
Yeah.
And I think it does do a good job of it. Right, I'm going to say this straight away, and you're going to be a bit confused. Mulan 2020, the live action remake, if it can be called a remake, is the best Disney Star Wars film I've ever seen.
Oh, I need to watch them, because obviously that has no context and means nothing to me.
It is no context and means nothing, but when you watch it, you'll see the pieces sort of form together, because Mulan has to unlock her chi in the film, which is basically the fucking Force, right?
I just watched Kung Fu Panda 3. I can't hear any more about chi.
But basically, she has to look that she, and I'm not even joking. Literally, the whole film, it's basically like it's just basically like the first Star Wars movie, nearly. And I really enjoyed it, and I was like, oh my god, this is actually a really good Star Wars film. So if you like Star Wars, go watch Mulan. But no, I enjoyed. I didn't find it too distracting, the fact that there was no singing or dancing or anything like that in it, but it was actually quite enjoyable watch. And Donnie Yen, of course, is obviously great in it, and Jet Li. Jet Li's obviously great in it as well. And there's a little small cameo appearance towards the end of the film, but I won't say what.
I'll have to watch this film then at some point.
But I think it is my favorite one of all these, and I have to start talking about it, but all the reviews I've seen for this, of the audience reviews, specifically on Rotten Tomatoes, I was looking at them, and everyone hates it because it's not a live action remake.
It's not Disney's Mulan.
It's not Disney's Mulan. They're like, oh, where's the singing? Where's this? Where's Mushu? I'm like, yeah, but it's a really interesting original story. Like, it's almost like watching a new Mulan film, basically.
Yeah, but I do have to wonder why they would do that, unless they thought it would appeal more to the Chinese market.
Well, that is one of the key factors, but I do like the fact that it is more true to the, culture. The Chinese culture than anything, really. Rather than, because I don't think, well, it did do well, didn't it?
What,
I think
box office? It didn't do box office, it was straight to...
No, in China, though.
I don't know how it did in China.
Because I think cinemas is back up in China again. Because I think it did do well there. But I am happy they wouldn't... I don't really want a sequel from it. Even though I did enjoy it.
Yeah.
I think that story's kind of done. If you know what I mean?
Are they making a sequel?
No, I don't think they are. But if they, well, Cruella 2,
That's true.
But I think it is because a lot of people didn't like it.
Do we have any...
But it's actually, it's the biggest... I was looking at it. It's the biggest budget film for female director. It was like 200 million or over.
Yeah, no, because people thought it was going to bomb.
It looks really good. Like they're obviously CG, but there's a lot of stuff that's just not CG and it's done really well. Some of the martial arts are really good in it. It is the one I would recommend overall, basically.
Better than Lion King?
Yes, better than Lion King.
Did you like that transition?
I really fucking hate this film.
It's not a good movie.
It's not a good movie, right? Straight away, before we even talk about it, I find it really jarring that photorealistic animals are speaking. You know what I mean? Like, are just speaking.
What about Rocket Raccoon?
Yeah, but that works because it's with humans, at least. Whereas
Speaking
they're just
to each
all.
other.
Yeah, well, this is just literally all animals. You know what I mean? And like when they're speaking, like when lions are talking, it just doesn't look right. Like I'm looking at it and it looks like they just got like a couple of lines together that were like roaring at each other and they just dubbed over dialogue. You know, it doesn't look visually. It does look good though. I will say once, it does.
Jon Favreau is a good filmmaker.
Yeah, he's a good filmmaker. I just feel like this film was very unnecessary. And again, same problem with Aladdin. It was an hour longer. I don't know why do they make these an hour longer? Like, why do they feel that an hour and a half is too short? We need it to be 2.5 hours long. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I think it's just the way Disney probably allocate fucking time slots.
Because I genuinely don't get it. And then I'm like watching, I'm like, how is this longer? Because it's literally, it's literally the same film.
But
like,
with cut out stuff.
And a slower pace.
Yeah. The pace.
A much slower pace.
Remember the pace crawling in this film.
Like, right, obviously the opening is the exact same as, the original, right? And then after that, everything's just dialed down and everything just feels like it's in slow motion and everyone's just really bored when they're talking, right? I really find it difficult to tell which character's which in this.
Oh, they all look the same.
They all look this is my right, at least with the cartoon, at least, right, Simba obviously looks different to Nala because he's bright yellow and she's more of a toned down sort of a bit more paler looking, and,
They can exaggerate it more.
yeah, and they have different colored eyes and stuff, and it's just it's
but they can exaggerate the eyes a lot more as well.
Yeah, but in this it's just like, right, everyone knows the difference between Mufasa and Scar because Mufasa just looks like Mufasa, right? Scar looks fucking dead. He actually looks dead in this film. It looks like they just reanimated a lion's corpse, basically. Like, how the fuck? He doesn't look well at all. Like, yeah, and I understand he's meant to be, like, the brother that's, like, a bit scrawnier and weaker and stuff and all, but it's like, Jesus Christ, like...
And also, the acting in this film wasn't very good.
No. Well, I find it weird that they brought James Earl Jones back, but not Jeremy Irons.
Yeah, that was weird that you do one and not the others.
Because
James
it
Earl
doesn't
Jones
feel like they were brothers.
He didn't do very well in this film.
James Earl Jones.
His age was beginning to show a little bit.
You could hear it. This is what I felt, because he sounds like he should be Scar's dad, basically.
Yeah. It's a similar thing happened with, like, Rogue One, I remember.
Yeah.
It just didn't quite sound right. But then it was weird to even... Well, no, I guess it made sense because... Well, I guess if they're gonna have a black actor for it because it was a predominantly black cast...
Yeah.
I guess it makes sense to bring him back and not bring James Earl Jones back. Not bring Jeremy Irons back. That's the only way I can see it, just because they were...
Oh, I know that, but it was just the fact that I don't know why they brought him back, because he does sound... He's a very old voice. Like, the man's, 90 now or something? He's touching 90 at least.
Yeah,
right?
he's pretty old.
He's very old, like... But... It literally is just an old man's voice, basically, in this line.
James Earl Jones is 90. He turned 90 this January.
There. Well, and then you have Chiwetel Ejiofor playing Scar, who's, 40 or something?
Something like that.
But you can tell that there's a 50-year difference in between those characters just from the sounds of their voices. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, I know they got Chiwetel because they wanted, obviously, probably an English actor just like Jeremy Irons, to play Scar.
Yeah.
Because it is Hamlet at the end of the day. It's a very English film, basically, even though it's set in Africa.
They did ruin Be Prepared as well. There was no energy behind it.
Well, right. You could tell that because the only reason it's in the film was because of fan backlash when they said it wasn't going to be in it.
Yeah.
And what really annoys me is the lyrics, the sound, like the actual soundtrack for that scene's really good and really powerful. Like, it's peak hands, basically. Like, I prefer it over the just the soundtrack in the background. We'll call it the instrumental in the background.
You prefer it to the original?
I do prefer it to the original, because the original is obviously more kiddie and the lyrics are more like that, right? It's obviously more like a Disney song, whereas this is more like a powerful kind of, chant.
Until the lyrics don't match it.
Yeah, well, because then he says "be prepared," and that's he does like one verse, and then he just says "be prepared" until he climbs the rock.
Yeah,
it's like it's very short.
It wasn't great.
Yeah, and I think I know it's very confusing. Also, in this film, they confirm that Scar and Mufasa are brothers, which was never actually said in the previous film. You just assumed, like.
Yeah. Well, he refers to him as Uncle Scar, doesn't he?
Yeah. But it's also like stuff like apparently he's not actually his brother, it's just they grew up together and stuff like that or something.
It's
very weird, I don't understand, like.
Doesn't really matter. It's not... The cast... Yeah.
I don't like Beyonce. She's the only... she's one problem I have with... I'm fine with Donald Glover, I'm fine with everyone else, right? I don't like Beyonce just because I don't like Beyonce as a singer, though.
Yeah. I don't know why we have to... It used to be that we would have two different actors for singing and speaking.
Yeah.
And there's some actors...
Nightmare Before Christmas, no.
There's some people who can do both.
Yeah.
But there's not many.
No.
This isn't a Hugh Jackman, this isn't an Anne Hathaway, this isn't a fucking Amy Adams.
Well, I felt it was like, the kid Simba, the kid who played
Yeah.
Simba in this. I felt he was great at singing, but his acting was just bad. And I feel like they
Yeah.
just cast him because he was a good singer.
And I don't know why they didn't just cast two people.
Yeah. I don't know why that's an issue. Well, my problem is I feel like Donald Glover's barely in this film. Like, I didn't even notice it was Donald
I
Glover.
didn't really like Donald Glover singing in this film. Well, I know he's good, like a good music career, but it's not really singing. His music.
Well, I think that's more not his
Style.
fault.
It's not his...
Well, not just his style, it's kind of... It's a bad film, and they...
I think the audio mixing was also pretty bad on a lot of the songs. Like, you couldn't hear it.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, I haven't seen this film since the cinema, and it could just be a bad cinema.
Yeah.
Was the audio mixing really bad in this film? Like, really bad?
Wasn't really bad.
I have a weird memory that you
Like,
couldn't
I watched
hear...
it on shitty TV, and it was alright, like...
I thought there was an issue where you couldn't hear the people speaking. Like, singing, like, but the music behind it was, like, way too loud.
No, I didn't have that.
Alright, well, either that didn't happen, and I'm making that up, or it was the cinema I was in, or me and Alex judge things differently.
No, I didn't actually have a like, I would say, like, tonight I'll be like, yeah, no.
It took you a while to admit it with tonight.
No, it's like... No, I think people, when it came to tonight, people blew it far too out of proportion.
No, you couldn't hear it. It's not out of
No,
proportion.
there were people said, like, I couldn't hear a single word in the film. I was like, right, you're chatting shit. I understand there was some scenes you couldn't hear, but not the whole film.
I couldn't hear anything said by Kenneth Branagh.
That's just more of a Kenneth Branagh thing, I feel, though. It was just his voice he put on. But anyways, back to Disney.
It was the shitty audio mixing.
No, back to Disney.
Yeah, I don't think there's too much to say on Lion King. It's just
it's all right.
Yeah, well, it's not even all right. It's not good.
Well, I feel this is one again which just shouldn't get a sequel, but probably will.
I think it is getting a sequel.
See, it's just unnecessary. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I assume the cast will return again.
I assume it'll be the same cast. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think the smartest play Disney could do with these two sequels, for Aladdin and this, obviously, is to just do something brand new for a sequel rather than just.
I think if they do that, there's a high chance they will probably make Lion King 2, though, just because if they want to stick with, because the whole thing is Lion King is Hamlet, and Lion King 2 is Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah.
And then Lion King 1.5 is, just excellence.
Yeah. Yeah. That came out like 10 years after. I think it was like
came out like 2005 or something like that.
It was. I think it was for like the 10th anniversary of the film they did that.
Well, I know it's better regarded than a lot of those sequels.
Mm.
It's not highly regarded, but
I just feel that because a lot of people actually haven't seen the direct-to-DVD sequels. Like, a lot of people don't actually know of Return of the Jafar and stuff. Mainly because Robin Williams isn't in that one, but he's in King of Thieves.
Which even less people know about, though, because King of Thieves was just a finale to a TV show.
Yeah. And it's just, I don't know, I think they should just do something brand new. I think that's what they're trying to lean towards, at least. Especially with the first two films, obviously, of each respective franchises.
I think we've got to move on to the main event of this.
Well, that's what I was about to say.
Honourable mentions to live-action Disney. Well, dishonourable mentions.
Dishonourable mentions.
Alice in Wonderland 1 and 2.
I haven't seen the second one.
I haven't seen the second one.
Because Tim Burton didn't direct it.
What else am I missing? There's definitely other ones.
With Dumbo.
Dumbo, Jesus fucking Christ.
We'll move on. That's the one I actually genuinely refuse to watch.
Yeah, that one's really bad.
Jungle Book.
It's meh.
Bill Murray's in it, that's about it.
It's well made. Jungle Book.
Jon Favreau again, yeah.
Yeah. The photorealistic animals work better in Jungle Book than Lion King, though, because they're playing off a kid.
Yeah.
That's all I can give it. The Two Maleficents.
Yes, I've only seen the first one, which I think's more topical given the next subject we're going to talk about.
And lastly, the entire fucking TV show Once Upon a Time.
Why?
Oh, do you not know the point of that show?
No.
All right, so it's kind of like a bunch. It was made by Disney. It was a bunch of fairy tale characters are in the real world, but they don't know who they are.
Hmm.
And that storyline lasts a season, and then they didn't really know what they were doing with it because it just kind of kept getting renewed.
Mm.
So they would just like remake a different Disney film live action and just put their existing characters into it. So just put the characters from the show, and then Frozen's just happening in live action, or like Mulan's just happening, or like Peter Pan's just happening.
Well, who thought that was a good idea?
It got quite a lot of seasons, to be fair.
That's just a bit surreal.
I think it got something like 6 seasons.
Jesus. But anyways, of course, I know them, Adam.
Okay, so Cruella came out.
Well, you start, because I know you do have different opinions to me on this, but go on.
I didn't like it at all. Like, a couple of things. I think it's structured really badly. Like, really badly. Like, it was 2.5 hours. Why the fuck was that film 2.5 hours? What point did that film have to be 2.5 fucking hours? Jesus Christ. Tremendous. Like, it's just like a stupid fucking kids comedy for the first like 20 minutes. Just that, the prologue went on forever and didn't really matter. Then it's just like her moping about for a bit, for maybe like another 20 minutes. Then it's Devil Wears Prada for a bit.
Yeah, because it was written by the writer of Devil Wears Prada.
Was it? It was literally it was
like,
the same fucking film.
You know what? I looked at it and I was like, you see, this makes sense, because I was looking at like the writers and stuff. I was, right. Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Then she's going on her weird fashion conquest. Which I still don't really understand the motivation of. Not motivation. It's just a bit. She just and then
spoiler heavy, by the way.
Spoiler heavy.
We're
like,
going deep into this.
And like she's a good, but she's not entirely a bad guy. But she's not entirely a good guy because they're trying to walk. They're trying to basically
they were just
turn.
doing the same Maleficent thing, weren't they?
They're trying to turn her into an anti-hero.
Yeah.
But then it's like the thing with Maleficent. It's set over the course of Sleeping Beauty, I think. Yeah. So it's kind of just telling a different story as opposed to trying to be a prequel. But this one's trying to be a prequel, and they're like, no. Is this one not trying to be a prequel?
No, this is a big misconfusion. Everyone keeps saying it's a prequel, but everyone has said no. This is just an original film. It's not like in any way of Maleficent. Like, they're not trying to bleed it into the 101 Dalmatians.
All right. Well, I don't think you can really do that when you call the film Cruella.
No.
Like, you can't use the IP and then say no, it's not the IP.
Because as we know in the film, she doesn't actually, skin Dalmatians.
That's what I was about to say. Like, so she's still, she doesn't end up as this Dalmatian. Yeah. What's the point in using the character?
I think it's more of a reinvention of the character rather than.
It's not a reinvention of the character because the character was nothing but evil. That was the whole point of the character.
But I think the weird thing is this character, like Cruella de Vil can't really work today.
Then don't make a fucking movie.
know. I see your point. I know. I mean, I was a bit surprised when I heard the song was getting announced last year.
Yes. Oh, no. Because
they had, like, secretly filmed it and no one knew about it.
Yeah, it showed because the budget was tiny.
Yeah.
But it was so long. I imagine the budget was huge, but it just looked quite cheap and shit. Like this, it's a dreadful film. Just awful.
I don't hate it as much as you. I don't think it's that bad. Genuinely, I think it was more because I had watched like 4 of these in a row. Like, by the time I got to this one, I was like, oh, thank fuck, at least something new. You know what I mean? Because I don't mind the fact that they just were like, right, fuck it, we're just gonna do something new for once.
I want the sequel to be her skinning dogs.
It could probably happen, though.
It won't be her skinning dogs.
I think they're just gonna do this, like, reverse Uno, but I don't know if you can do that now. Like, I don't know if kids would want to watch that.
What, someone skinning dogs or someone not skinning dogs?
No, but, like, like, the hero of the story, but, being the villain like that, if you know what I mean.
But I don't think any kid would like this film.
You'd be surprised.
Could your little sister or younger brother sit through this film?
I think they could, yeah. It's just a Disney
You think they
film. Could? You'd be surprised. Just kids genuinely will watch any Disney film.
Really?
Except
I would.
for Mars Needs Moms. It's the only one. It's the only film that it will terrify any child and confuse any adult.
Was that mocapped or was it rotoscoped or something?
No, it was no count. Yeah, it was
Very weird.
very jarring, because it wasn't right.
Yeah,
It wasn't right.
because
Uncanny Valley stuff. Like,
most big animated films, even today, don't use mocap, which is very weird that they don't. Well, I understand why they don't, but I find it weird that it's like so kind of frowned upon in the movie world, but it's so normal in the gaming world. Like every gaming cutscene, pretty much every game now is mocapped,
yeah,
and there's not really this uncanny valley sort of thing.
yeah.
But in films, if you did that, it'd be like, ooh, none of that.
Well, I think as games can get away with it because it's like, oh, it's a video game. It's not
Well,
a
it's-
film. Whereas a film,
games-
people look at it like visually, like it has to look real. Like it has to be photorealistic.
Or it doesn't have to be photorealistic, as in the case of an animated film.
In that uncanny valley, basically. But no, back to Cruella.
Oh yeah, I was very bored during this film because it did a bunch of stuff, none of it well.
I enjoyed Emma Thompson, like her performance. She was actually all right in it.
She was all right.
I don't think she was that bad.
I didn't really like Emma Stone that much, and I didn't like her accent. I didn't really.
Right, this is the way I view it. I think it's mainly because of where we're from, but to Americans, that's a really good English accent. Like, they wouldn't be able to tell the difference. But it's just the fact that we're so used to hearing actual English accents. You know what I mean?
I swear she's done like pretty good English accents in other films though. Like, didn't she do that film The Favorite?
No, it wasn't Emma Stone.
The Favorite. Which one was? Is that the? What was the one that Olivia Colman got Oscar nominated for?
Yeah, The Favorite. She wasn't in it, was she?
Yeah, she was in it.
Was she?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's a different English
I think
accent, though. She's trying to be a caricature.
Like, but London's quite well, not an easy act. Well, I assume if you're an actor, London
Well, not
seems
just that,
quite.
but she's trying to be Cruella de Vil, which is this very over. Like, if you look at Glenn Close, they're very similar accents. Like, they are very over dramatic.
But
that's just
the
'cause-
acts. But Emma Stone's acting isn't over dramatic in the film. Only the voice. The character isn't even that eccentric.
But it's only when she is. It's only in touches. It's very little. She doesn't do it enough, I feel. She does do it sometimes, but it's never enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it wasn't even like because she did do it at the start, and I was like, oh, they might try and bleed it in throughout the film.
Yeah.
They really don't.
No.
Like, it's just there could have been a good film here. Because, but stop making. Everyone needs to stop making Joker comparisons. It's not even
Yeah, I don't
the
understand.
advertising.
I don't get it.
I think I got it from the advertising. I didn't get it from the film.
I didn't get from the advertising. I watched it. I was like, I don't see how this is anyway Joker related.
Yeah.
It's such a like when I watch it, I was like, oh, this is like Devil Wears Prada. Basically, that's my vibe. That was the vibe I got
It was
from it.
very Devil Wears Prada.
But I think that works really well because I think it's such a smart thing to do is get Cruella de Vil, obviously, you know, character wise fits perfectly in that Devil Wears Prada kind of a setting. But then I wonder, why didn't you just, you know, get Meryl Streep? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, Devil Wears Prada is a better Cruella origin film than Cruella.
Yeah.
Because, well, of course, not the end of Devil Wears Prada. For anyone who's seen Devil Wears Prada,
Spoilers.
it's all about. You've seen it, Alex, haven't you?
Yeah, too many times.
I've seen it once. It's all about kind of, you know, how far you're willing to go. A lot of it.
Well,
And, like,
where
kinda-
this kind of bleeds into it slightly.
But, like, I feel like a lot of
Not
Emma
enough.
Stone's transformation into Cruella could have stemmed from the pressure of work, almost, of working for
Yeah,
her.
rather
I think
than a
they really
revenge
could
story.
They really could have developed the relationship of them working together
Yeah.
way better, or working for her, almost like a Mean Girls kind of situation where she wasn't really trying to tear her from the inside. She was just all working for her and then saying, "I'm gonna show up at events and be super cool."
No, Adam,
Like-
I've just looked this up, and it had 5 writers, this film.
Cruella.
Yeah.
I don't know why you wouldn't lean in. If you're gonna make Devil Wears Prada, why not make Devil Wears Prada?
Pretty much. Like, I think... Well, it's kind of weird, because I can't even say... Do you know what I think it was? I think it was the fact that there was 5 writers. And
Yeah. It was 5 films. It was 5 fucking films.
yeah, because... And had they just done one, it would have been
If
fine.
they stuck with one of their ideas, but they just had so many ideas, which is mental because it immediately got fucking greenlit for a sequel, so they must have known a sequel was possible.
Yeah. Well,
This
this
wasn't-
is my thing. When it comes to films, I don't think you should have more than 2 writers for a film. When it comes to a TV show, fair enough.
Well, what do you think about when like other writers do rewrites of the existing work?
That's
Is that
slightly
fine?
different, though. But this
Yeah.
was literally, right,
5 writers
Yeah.
from the planning process.
Yeah. like 2 did the story, 3 did the screenplay.
Yeah, it's mental. It's really weird.
Yeah.
Well, you can't all be Kevin Smith. Doing it yourself.
Well, you usually do find it with these big budget kind of films.
Well, that's
I
because
think
no
it's
one
mainly
wanted.
'cause
That's
it is
because
big
the
budget.
film was conceptualized by a marketing team.
Yeah.
An issue. No one. I doubt anyone wanted to make this film. They're probably happy
Other
to
than Emma
work
Stone,
on
I
it.
imagine.
Emma Stone seemed quite enthusiastic about this film. Christ knows why.
I think because she's a mother now.
Yeah. Well,
Well, I understand because I think she just wants to make films that are kids.
maybe she'll get a.
Yeah.
Maybe she'll get a Spider-Gwen solo series.
We'll see.
No, no.
Well, she has a mother now again.
Yeah, she might like that.
But no, I mean, overall thoughts on Disney live action? Stop doing it.
Stop doing it.
Stop doing it. Yes,
Stop doing it.
you massive, conglomerate. Stop making fucking movies.
I mean, I'm still watching them. So
Yeah.
I'm not. This
Well, I promised I wouldn't, but then last week you said Cruella, and afterwards I said, why the fuck did you say that? Now I have to go watch these.
You didn't have to watch all of them. Like,
You know I did. You know I had to go over the top about this. You know me.
no.
Uh,
I just,
You know the door you opened. But no, I think... Like, what's next one? Is there another one coming out this year?
there was supposed to be a Pinocchio out, but I don't think that ever came out.
No.
There's a Little Mermaid coming out.
Yes. No, that's not Disney. People keep getting confused. It's Universal.
I thought Disney were making one as well.
Yeah, but I think the one that's actually coming out is the Universal one.
Oh, okay. Did
Not the
Disney
di-
cancel theirs?
Well, no, I think, like...
no,
Pinocchio,
they are.
or
Little
are they?
Mermaid are making one. Pinocchio.
But Pinocchio has been in development hell for ages.
I think
Like, Robert
since
Downey Jr.
20
is in that.
I think it's like 2013 or something. Pinocchio got.
Yeah.
I think Lilo and Stitch is getting remade as well.
That's one I'd be okay with. I was trying to figure it out, and that one can work because A, there's no singing, B, it's a very simple story, and the CG won't look overly weird because it's mainly human characters.
Funnily enough, I'd be much more interested to have this Lilo and Stitch film be a sequel.
Should have done one.
Well, no,
And
yeah,
a
I
TV
mean,
show.
you can set it. No, you can set it out. You can set it after the trilogy, like, or 4 films I think they made in Lilo and Stitch.
Well, I know why they wouldn't do that is because the weird thing is these films are going to become what the old ones were to us, where that's going to be
Yeah.
our base standard for, like, kids watching it now and kids in the future. That's what Disney are trying to do.
You know, the generational thing. I just think a sequel to Lilo and Stitch with like, a live action one could just. I think conceptually, I think it's just an interesting.
Well, I think Lilo and Stitch, it would work, but I think it would work more as TV show.
Like as the old TV show was,
Well, yeah.
or
To a degree.
yeah, I think Hunchback's getting made.
Yeah.
Um,
I think the only one I'd actually want to see would be, like, Disney's failed projects.
Snow White. I think they're doing.
Snow White, yeah. Of course,
Rose
yeah.
Red is a movie.
Never heard of
We'll
it.
focus on.
Oh, yeah, the panda.
Snow White's
Or
sister.
no. Sorry, I got confused.
Snow White's sister, Rose Red. Please tell me this is a joke.
Is that not a Stephen King book? Rose Red?
Maybe Tink. I think they're doing live.
No, Joe,
action
I was thinking
Tinkerbell.
of the film, the Pixar film coming out called Red Panda, which is about a girl who, when she gets angry, turns into a big giant red panda.
Ah. Prince Charming.
Prince Charming. Is this the Prince Charming I'm aware of?
What from the Cinderella was another live action remake that we forgot.
Oh
about.
yeah, well, we don't really care about them.
No.
Well, my problem with those ones, for example, like that Cinderella one. It's just and Beauty and the Beast. It's just like, oh, it's literally the same fucking film. It's just the same, like literally the same film.
Yeah, Beauty and the Beast was really bad, if I remember. Oh, we didn't mention that either.
Yeah, we don't need it. Ian's in it, so that's all we need to say. And Ian McKellen. So Ian McKellen's in it as well. But after all other than that, we'll leave them too. We'll put them to bed.
Just stop making them.
Stop making them. That's
stop making them, and then we'll stop watching them.
Pretty much.
Fair deal.
What are we doing next week, Adam?
E3.
Back to gaming. Hopefully E3 will have some tasty Half-Life 3 confirmed. But no, it'll have some tasty confirmations because don't know if anyone's aware, but Adam and I loved E3 last year. It was the funniest thing we've ever watched in our lives.
What was E3 last year?
Do you remember we watched the Ubisoft one?
Oh, that was bad.
Yeah, it was so awful. But we're mainly probably going to talk about the Ubisoft press conference because it's the only one I always watch.
You're just going to see me get upset when everything's not Splinter Cell.
No, Adam.
What?
Listen, they were saying Ubisoft are making a Splinter Cell / Division / something else inspired video game.
Right. We'll look forward to that next week.
We will look forward to it.
I'm going to play the outro now.
Oh, this will be good. Oh, is this on the ukulele?
There we go.
That was it. That's good. Good night, everyone.